Last night I had a almost 3 hour conversation with a classmate from elementary school. She's been watching my posts, she's been keeping in contact with me. She has been uplifting and wonderful in spirit, right? And I'm thankful for that. Sometimes the help doesn't come in monetary needs. Sometimes the help comes in being a listening ear, a soft place to land, if you will. With that being said, I appreciate the relationships that I've built over years. I appreciate the bridges that I've kept the lights on. I appreciate everything that comes my way when it comes to people being human and living this life experience on their own accord, as we all are. With that being said, what I don't appreciate is the motherfuckers who keep count of the times that I'm not there when I myself am drowning. Instead of it being accepted as, oh, she going through a hard time, or maybe she just don't want to be bothered. You are keeping count on the times that I wasn't there for you, but you don't consider the times that I was there for you. Roll the clip.
You could be drowning and someone in your circle will be upset that you didn't wait back. You could be going through the hardest season of your life and the people around you will still make it about themselves. You're fighting to keep your head above water mentally, financially, spiritually, and the people closest to you don't ask, are you good? They ask, why haven't you called me back? You're barely surviving and someone is in their feelings because you missed their event, because you didn't respond fast enough, because you weren't available the way you used to be. That's when it hits you. Most people don't love you. They love your function. They love what you provide. They love how you make their life easier. And the second you can't perform that role, the second you need to be selfish for a minute just to stay alive, suddenly you're the problem. Suddenly you change. Suddenly you're not the same person. Nah, I'm the same person. I'm just in a war you can't see. And instead of asking me what I need, you're keeping a tally of what I haven't given you lately. Bro, that's not a friend. That's a person who needed you functional and called it love. Job had 3 friends who showed up when everything fell apart. For 7 days, they sat with him and said nothing. No advice, no agenda, no making his suffering about themselves. Just present. That was the most powerful thing they did, and it was the only thing they did right. The moment they started talking is when they got it wrong. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do with your circle is just be quiet and stay close. Not fix it, not explain it, just be there. Pay attention who checks on you when you go quiet. Not who gets offended, who gets concerned. That's your real friend. That's your real circle. Everybody else is just a customer who got to use a free product. If someone only notices you're gone when they need something, they never notice you were there in the first place.
In the midst of that conversation I had with her last night, we were discussing how I got to this point. And to no fault of my own, she said, I understand. She said, I've never been in a situation where my home is in jeopardy, but the thought of moving, she's moved a couple times and it's horrendous on the body, it's horrendous on the mind. I said, not only that, now my child is older. When I was going through hardships when he was a baby, it was easier to move because he was unaware. Now he's aware. And that, for me, is hard to talk about. It's like, all right, what do you do? Now, with this situation, my belief is like Naruto. And I keep referring to that because I believe I can save my house. I believe things will work out in my favor. Whether it's in this place or someone else, I know that I've gotten over and through every single hardship that I've ever come encountered with. And I think people fail to realize that, like, I'm not still in an abusive relationship. I'm not still at a toxic workplace. I'm not still, you see what I'm saying? Like, I'm not there. I've moved forward. And then my son was like, I don't know what level of delusion this is. I said, I don't know either. But when you have people in your circle quietly and loudly rooting for you to continue to move forward, forget all the naysayers, forget all the, oh, how are you affording this and how do you still have that? Because the circle of people may not be able to financially help me out of a situation, but their words of encouragement, girl, get up. Girl, get up. Come on, you gotta do something today. You can't lay in this bed. You gotta make some phone calls. You gotta email some people. Those things keep you motivated. But when you got the circle of friends who are keeping count on when you don't contact them, or why you ain't calling back, or why they ain't text you, or why you didn't text them back, you gotta cut them off. You gotta cut the head of the snake off. You cannot serve them in your season of being served, if that makes sense.